All right, so I'm not gonna lie to you, I am so sick and tired of Final Fantasy doing this kind of crap. So last year, I went ahead and did the Final Fantasy 16 crossover event, where you get to have a little bit of storytelling, you get to understand who Clive was, and you have like this little experience of what it's like to play Final Fantasy 16. And I absolutely loved it. And when the game came to PC, I dropped money like it was hot. Snoop Dogg would be proud. Quick side note, I'm also playing through Final Fantasy 16 right now. Playlist is included in the description below. If you've been following along on my Final Fantasy 14 streams, you know that I've reached to the end of Shadowbringers, the end of 5.3. I've gotten to see all the crazy shenanigans there. Absolutely loving the game. A buddy of mine, Galactic, has been guiding me along to all the cool extra things, the optional things that I may have missed if I was just playing through the MSQ normally. But a bunch of different awesome things that you can get into. So like optional dungeons and optional trial series, things that are just extracurricular, and they have their own story and they're a lot of fun. Well, Galactic went ahead and suggested that I try the Monster Hunter crossover trial. In a sense, it lets you get a bit of a taste of what it's like playing Monster Hunter. And I think this one was Monster Hunter World is when this one came out. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. You pick up the story in Kugane and you run around and you talk to some other hunters and all that. And then you, of course, meet this most obnoxious cat. And this cat was bothering the hell out of me. I'm sorry, like it pissed me off. All he ended up doing was just sitting there loading everything with cat puns. Everything was a cat pun. He was like, we have a meowton to go to. I got fed up with it. I was in Discord chat with a bunch of people and I was getting pissed off. I mean, like the puns, don't get me wrong, were perfect. But I was still angry. We follow along with him trying to hunt down this giant red dragon, and Rathlos, I think is his name, and then we end up getting into the trial, and the trial was a lot of fun. And basically there's no healing after a certain point, and you are dodging and rolling and moving around, getting out of the way of the different abilities, chugging health potions to stay alive. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. And then we did the extreme trial, which there's only allowed to have 4 different players onto it, and that was even cooler. It made it that much more intense. And then of course you get the scales and all that, and you're able to craft the different items. And I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and see if I would be even able to play a Monster Hunter game. I've heard that graphically speaking, it's very much like this. Truth be told, I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to play the game just because it is pretty rigorous. And while I think I have a pretty good build, it does struggle sometimes. And it's just something that I've noted as games have developed a little bit further. So I did the Monster Hunter benchmark and it was pretty good. I actually got a good rating. I actually think at like one point it dipped down to like 15 frames per second or something. Like it was struggling hard. So I went ahead and just watched some videos on YouTube to see what was going on and see what it was all about. And honestly, I hate it because I sit there and I'm like, this game looks so good. And I have such a log of games that I have to finish. But what gets me is that this is the second time that Final Fantasy has convinced me that I should be spending money on a different game, a game that is coming out or it is a successful marketing strategy. And it pisses me off too. It really does, because one, I've been loving playing Final Fantasy 16. I'm having a great time with it. I'm progressing through the story, really enjoying all the wonderful things about it. And then it's like, then I have this with Monster Hunter Wilds and everyone's having fun and my computer can handle it. And I'm like, damn it. I tell you this long-winded story because it's something that I've always had a problem with, and I've always done this. It's like if I'm happy with one game, I can't see myself spending money on a game that I may or may not necessarily like. It may look cool, it may look like it's a lot of fun, but you know, a price tag of I think it's $70 that's quite a bit. And when I already have so many different other games that I should be getting into and playing and trying out, like I have to convince myself that it's a reasonable investment. And of course, digging into a lot of what Monster Hunter Wilds does and all that, I was, is this going to be something that I'm really going to enjoy? So I needed just that X factor that was really going to, you know, convince me that this is worth my time. Much like when I did the Final Fantasy 16 crossover, the giant icon fight between Ifrit, I mean, that was awesome. Like that's what sold me. What was going to be the X factor for me to spend that money, to come off my horse and be like, well, I'm already, you know, content with the games that I have. You know, it looks fun. What's gonna push me over that edge?
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
Excellent argument. Approved.
And there it was. Coming soon to a CAF near you.